Hi, welcome along to Gers TV. My name's Si Leslie. It's been a great weekend. It's been a great few weeks, and the Gers TV are live on all your socials. We've got Gordy and we've got Lewis. How we doing, lads?
Aye, not too bad. Not too bad. A good weekend. We've got plenty to talk about tonight. Of course, I know you did a wee pre-match show with a wee couple of shandies, but
Plenty.
no, well, aye, we're gonna have some good discussions. Sorry, got a wee bit of the cold. Some good discussions tonight. Hopefully, some comments coming in tonight. Good topics of conversation tonight. I'm looking forward to it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, what a weekend. It's just Scottish football this season's been absolutely mad for every angle, really, to be honest. It's
Entertaining.
it feels like it's been on for you, said a minute ago, Lewis. It feels like it's been going on for 2 years, doesn't it? Like already.
It's been
We're only halfway through the season.
It's been a good advert for it in a crazy sense.
Yeah, but no, absolutely
I need to
delighted.
turn this back to both.
So absolutely delighted with the result. And at half time, if you had said to us that we're going to win 3-1, I would have called you mad, but we came out and
Well, you never called me mad in the show last week because I did say we were going to win 3-1.
I predicted.
I
I was 3-1 prediction. Aye.
Did it at half time, so no, brilliant. And it's been a long time coming, to be perfectly honest. And I said that a couple of weeks ago. I said if we win this game, then I think we're favourites for the league. We've got a small matter of a couple of games coming up against Aberdeen, we hope. And let's bring it on.
I mean, we always go live on a Tuesday night, guys, as you know, if there's no football on, but the game's on tomorrow night, so we've swapped it. But a bit of doubt in that could actually, there's a good chance that won't go ahead with Aberdeen go to travel, so we can still preview it, but let's get a wee chat about the game at the weekend. Dare I say it, I thought Celtic were by far the better team in the first half, but I don't think Rangers are getting anywhere near the credit they deserve for the second half. Everything's about how bad Celtic were, but Rangers changed the game.
Yeah, I totally agree. I need to say that when we seen the lineup, I thought to myself, that's very bold. And I think it was a departure from our usual players, usual tactics, usual formation. And that showed in the first half. So I think we need to be honest with ourselves and say that on reflection, he probably got the first half wrong. However, he certainly seen what was going wrong and he fixed it and what a turnaround in the second half. And yeah, absolutely, they only played so badly because we played so well.
Yeah, we forced a bit of mistakes.
And that's it. That's what football's all about. If we hadn't come out on guns blazing and played really well in the second half, then they wouldn't have lost 3 goals. So all credit to the manager, all credit to the players, and I've got to say a special shout out to the much maligned Sharmiti, who just made himself a hero, to be perfectly honest, and
grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, fair play to him. I mean, that his second goal was an absolute peach. His run. And
does we win back the ball as well?
Aye, it was like watching it. I won't go as far as say like Lionel Messi didn't laugh, but it was a great goal, and fair play to him. He's been criticised like hell since he came in. We've said it. It's not his fault, but the price we paid. But he's got his head down, and his work rate over the last kind of month or so has been phenomenal. And now he's starting to get a few goals as well. So
it was actually, you think about it, it was really cool as a cucumber in the second half. Anybody else would have been under like shit himself, but no, it was nice and cool.
Aye. Well, obviously we've all had our fair share of slagging him off for the £8-10 million price tag, whatever. I'm not scoring goals, but you know what? He came up and he sort of silenced a lot of the Rangers sports, silenced a lot of journalists and pretty much everyone involved in Scottish football, to be honest. He came out and obviously scored 2 good goals. The first goal, a wee nice wee back heel, of course. And then the second goal, which I think he took well, I think he got a wee bit lucky as well. The fact that Schmeichel got a wee bit of a deflection on it. But, you know, I think he done well to win back the ball. And I've seen some stats as well. He was the best player defensively, and he was a centre forward.
I actually thought he was going to get a hat-trick, to be fair. And he was unlucky, because he was still going for it. At no point in the game did he resting his laurels, and he tormented Celtic.
Aye. It's good to see you in the stats now, Lewis.
Yes. You brainwashed me, Gordy. You brainwashed me into liking the stats. Our strikers have scored how many goals in this season, or what?
Don't you flash up the pencils at me. So I think they're all happy, and she'd said to us even I think the start of October. I can't remember the specific date that Russell Martin got huckled out of Falkirk and lost his job, but it wasn't that long ago. And I think at one point we were one defeat up in bottom of the league, and then fast forward 3-4 months later, and we had a fantastic chance to the title, and it's incredible.
Aye,
Mad. I just think it's mad. Like,
I'm saying this off camera. It feels like it was about 2 years ago that Russell Martin was our manager. It feels like it was that long ago. It's been such a strange season. How we started this season, we were all saying it's the worst Rangers team we've ever seen, worst ever Rangers manager. To now, we're thinking they would win the league. I mean, before we were struggling to consider the fact
that is two poor Old Firm teams in general, but the entertainment value was there. That was, and I must say, as bad as Rangers have been this season, the fans have stopped buying them, and a bit of an embarrassment for Scottish football when you see empty stadiums with 10 minutes to go, supporters that boo their own manager, and away support, a tiny bit of away support out singing the home support the whole game. This is supposed to be a big football club we're playing against, because I'll tell you one thing, see by Ibrox is electric at Old Firm, win, lose or draw, and that was pathetic from our opposition.
You've got to laugh that we need to get in the stadium at 10:30 in the morning.
I know.
Do you know what I mean?
When they're going to leave early anyway.
So getting the Rangers fans in, because of the fact that it's not as if it's like 1960s communist Russia or anything like we live and we work together.
It's pathetic.
And then making the Rangers fans go into the stadium 2 hours early is just
exactly. I'm glad you said that, Gordy, because I was going to say that exact same thing. Rangers fans, Celtic fans, we all work together. We're all pals, family, whatever. We're all pals, but it's a game of football. It's a bit of banter, mostly a bit of banter between the two supporters. Not being made to go in 2 hours early. I say we. Rangers supporters are being made to go in 2 hours early.
But anyway, that was the home support. I thought the Rangers support, I've seen the videos, I heard them on at the game, and the Rangers support was outstanding. The 12th man again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was even after we took a battering in the first half, they were still the 12th man, half time, and back out again.
I seen clips and they were all singing and chatting 2 hours, an hour and a half before the game and all that. Cheering the team coming on to train, they were all singing and shouting.
I mean, if you're putting fans in 2 hours early, they should at least be allowed a wee beverage.
I agree with that. I'm sure we'll probably get onto that topic later on. But I do agree.
One thing I'm going to say about the first half while we're here, obviously the manager gave Asgard a chance in the middle of the park, trying to support the attack. And I've got to say, as much as it pains me to say this, because he is a Norwegian internationalist, I don't think he's got what it takes to be a Rangers player. I mean,
I just want to quickly say, for those that are watching, if you can't quite see, Lily's here. It is a dog. If you're questioning what Gordy's doing with his on here, it is Lily, a dog-sized dog. So, anyways, back to what you're saying.
The party spirit of the weekends carries on.
No with me, it's no with me.
But
I wish you hadn't pointed out. That'd be a meme tonight.
You did mention the fact that Asgard gets taken off at half time. That's a game changer for me. I'm not a big Diamandi. I'm not a big fan of that lad, and he seems to be partial for a bad tackle now and again. But he changed the game, the position he went in, and his direct football changed the game. And also, big shout out to Miovski coming on and 20 seconds later getting booked, sticking the ball in him. Sometimes you want that passion, because although we were winning the game at that point, it was a state of intent that we're here for a battle as well as playing football. Yeah. And we won them all in the second half.
I was probably just frustration that he didn't get a look in, because for me to play so well, he was probably expecting to start the game or expected to come on, and he didn't get a look in. But
that cheesy team up, that cheesy the support.
It is. I mean, that passion and that commitment is something that we've been saying. We questioned it. I mean, I've got to be honest. I questioned before the game on one of the shows we did with Jay that I didn't actually fear playing Celtic. I feared us playing ourselves, because in the last kind of season and a half, big games, we've got to let the occasion and pressure get to us. We haven't turned up, and for the first half, I feared the worst. I thought that was happening again. But
the counter argument for that, because I agree with you, and I was thinking the same. I thought we got to a bar in the half time, but the counter argument is it's 6 or 7 games we played Celtic and haven't beat us in 90 minutes.
Yeah, I mean even under come on, we did actually play well against Celtic. I mean, I think the last time I can remember Rangers being seriously outplayed by Celtic was under Gio. I could be wrong, but come in and did well. Obviously didn't get the results, but played well, improved the performances, and was unlucky, especially in the cup finals, for reasons we'll probably go into later. And then, obviously Barry got a result at Parkhead, and then Russell Martin got a draw, blah, and then we've got in and win. So, they haven't beat us now in 5 league games, so we're 5 league games unbeaten against Celtic as well, which probably was your main point there. But, so yeah, we don't have any, it's just sometimes the Rangers' big games in the last 2 years, we've had to go a goal down before we started playing, and it happened again on Saturday, to be fair, but we rescued it.
Great reaction.
And I think Roll identified the fact that we could score against them, and he set up the team to do that, but for whatever reason, the first half didn't click. But as you said, Diomandi's come on, and I don't actually remember Diomandi having an outstanding pass, outstanding touch, but he just added that presence, I think.
I think it was a bit more direct.
Yeah.
I think Asgard had been booked as well, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
right.
5-10 minutes for probably wasn't a booking, to be fair. Innocuous, and again, one of our main attack. That side, that's why he didn't play the first half, because he didn't like to get sent off.
And the farce is Scottish football. Celtic never get any bookings in the game. There was a few bad tackles for both sides. Celtic never get any bookings, and that's going to be on 84 games without a red card. A new record broken by them again.
There was a tackle, I can't remember who it was by, to be honest, but it was a really late challenge, and I don't know how it wasn't a yellow card. I mean, at one point I thought they were going to look at that for a red, but didn't even get a yellow for it. And then you look at some of the yellow cards Rangers get, and it's like, it's
consistently goes against us.
It's beyond, like, I don't know.
I would just like Rangers to call things like that out when you're winning.
It's hard to
call them out when you're winning and ask, why are Celtic refereed differently from every other team in Scottish football? It's glaringly obvious why it happens and how it's happening, but nobody will call it out.
I'll give you an example why some of the decisions might go against us. I'll give you a perfect case in point. Michael Stewart, before the game, one of the so-called pundits, said that Daniel Rose has been very lucky because he's getting all the major decisions.
Yeah.
Has it actually?
And nobody challenges it.
Nobody challenges that. When you look at the games that we've played, you look at some of the decisions we've had, I mean, it's frightening that he can actually say that as a pundit and be employed as a pundit.
And be guaranteed his job. Do you know what I mean afterwards?
I mean, you got, yes, and the one I can think of is one against Livingston at home and then possibly one against Motherwell. But we did about 10, 11, 12 in that last 2 months. It went against us.
Most of the big decisions in the big games have went against us. Hearts have beaten us twice with major decisions that have changed the game. We're 6 points behind them, and it's happened twice. They're the maths, do you know what I mean? It's clearly obvious.
Not sure if we'd won that game, won the Russell Martin at Ibrox, but certainly you're right, and certainly at Tynecastle, that goal that should have stood would change the game. So, that's why. I mean, there's still this line parroted by every other club in the world and the SFA now and the press that Rangers got all the decisions. And the more you say it, the more it becomes reality, and it's ridiculous because I still don't know. I'd like to think it's just incompetence, but when you've got a start, or when Celtic put in a challenge that they were putting in on Saturday, and you don't even get a booking, Another thing as well, their players are all over the referee every single challenge. Yeah. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter how innocent the challenge is or how light the challenge is, the ball's got 2 or 3 of their players in the referee's face immediately. Yeah. And that puts the pressure on as well.
A couple of players I want to talk about who have been outstanding in the last few weeks. Mikey Moore. How can we not keep him in another season? I'm thinking because he would be outstanding. But what a finish for the boy. He had a really poor first half, but so did everybody in the team. But I must say his finish was outstanding. It was a great move. The whole build up to it.
It was a good ball through for Gassama as well. I believe it was Gassama played the ball through to Mikey Moore.
A beauty.
Don't get me wrong, I think he got slightly lucky. I mean, Sayuda got down quicker than Schmeichel there. But
it just reminded me of my BB days again. Straight back to the old treble 2 at the Red Ash pitches in St Anne's.
I've got to give him full credits. I mean, last year, specifically the Kelly game, and of course the Old Firm game there at the weekend against Celtic.
You forget his age, he's only a young boy.
18 as well. 18. He's younger than me, I'm pretty sure. I'm actually pretty sure he's younger than me.
I've got pants that are older than him. He's got a good dig on him as well.
I know.
He's got a good dig on him. He can, for it in terms of a challenge, he can take a challenge. But he's now starting to score the goals, so he's been managed better. He's been managed better. That's one thing, because it's easy to criticise Danny Rowe at times, but credit when due, he's made some of these players that bit better.
But I think now we're seeing why a lot of Tottenham fans rated him.
The potential's certainly there.
Absolutely. You can see that. I mean, he's already shown a lot of quality. in a good few games here at Rangers, specifically, of course, the game against Kelly and game against Celtic, as I just previously mentioned there. But he's shown so much potential, and I agree with you there, Si. Why can't he stay for another season? To be fair, I don't think Tottenham will want to get rid of him, really, if he's performing so well. And Tottenham aren't necessarily having the greatest of seasons. I think they'll try and integrate him into their squad next season, probably. But you know what? He's performing well, and he's even came out and said he'd like to stay another year. So why not?
That's a double-edged sword. The better he plays, the more likely it is that Tottenham will keep him. But I mean, a big thing for Mikey Moore is I mean, forget, it's crazy that this is a guy that he's turned 18. 2 weeks after signing for Rangers, like a massive club in world football, and just turned, he's just turned 18 a couple of weeks after it, and he's had like a couple of managers now. But what I've noticed with Mikey Moore the last 6 to 8 weeks is he seems to be enjoying himself.
Yeah,
and he's relaxed in the park, and that's a big thing for any footballer, particularly a young footballer, when
he's comfortable on the ball.
He's comfortable with his teammates, he's comfortable with his surroundings now, and he's grown into the shirt. Unfortunately, other players we've signed, the shirt seems a bit heavy for them, but Mikey Moore's grown into his career at Rangers, and all credit to him, because he had a pretty sticky start, and I think we were wondering, why we went for him.
You can see the difference in class with the bigger teams in English football, because the young players are media trained as well. He's a natural behind the mic. He doesn't get caught up with the silly questions that they ask him, but he says all the right sound bites for the Rangers support as well. He's been quick to make it known that his family like Rangers. He's got a girlfriend's family support Rangers. He's got on the side of the fans right away. He's knuckled down. He's grafted. He wants to be here, and all credit to the lad. And when he does leave Rangers eventually, I think we'll be giving him our best wishes.
Yeah, he's going for the future as well. Like, if it doesn't work out elsewhere in his career, I'm sure he'll always be welcome back as well.
Well, I mean, you know what they say. They say never fall in love with a lone player. I mean, you've got Tillman, you've got Abdallah Sima, even Cherney as well, all on loan. All players who performed at Rangers, no matter what you say, specifically Tillman, they performed at Rangers and they performed in big games at Rangers. And Mikey Moore seems to be doing that as well. So I'm actually struggling not to fall in love with him as a player, because he's been fantastic. And as you said, a lot of players are struggling with the weight of the jersey, but he's not. He's grown into it well, specifically for such a young boy as well, particularly. I was more
relieved. I thought you were going to say don't fall in love with an escort girl.
Well, that I know. I advise you not to.
The other guy I want to mention, because we've all criticised him, Jack Butland, I think. A bit he wasn't in the greatest of positions for the first goal, but afterwards he became the captain for me on the park. He saved it. He made all the saves look easy, and he made us look comfortable, and all credit to him.
Yeah, I mean, when I first seen the goal, I've got to say, I thought Butland's at fault, but the more I watch it and the power the boys put on it,
it was a well taken.
Any keeper's going to struggle today.
And plus the defence, there was 3-4 defenders that the boys just skipped through as well. So you could argue it's a tight angle positioning, but I mean, sometimes you just hold your hand up and see the power behind it is almost unstoppable, and that's what's done. I think it's moved a bit as well. So. You just got to say it's a good goal.
Just put it down to the fact it was a good finish.
You just got to be honest. Sometimes it was a good finish, but after, he's kept us in the game, and I think when we've equalised, he's been a blinding save immediately after we've equalised.
That's right, yeah.
And that was a big moment in the game. It always says we're big moments, but that is special. So when we just get ourselves back into it, if they'd scored at that point, our heads would go right back down again. So great for him, yeah.
For me,
probably.
For me, Celtic's goal for. I struggle to say it's not the fault of Fernandes. I think Fernandes should be going in for the challenge. I think he just sort of stands there, sort of watches them go by. Even Magoma as well. Magoma's too far out in the left. Magoma should be more inside, looking to sort of at least entice him to take him on a wee bit, instead of just giving him so much open space to run into. Because that's where Celtic thrive. We give them a lot of space. Pretty much every Old Firm game, we give them so much space, and they thrive on that.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Aye. But he's came back. He's acknowledged the fact that that the Hearts game, he made two. The second goal was certainly his fault, and he acknowledged that, and he's came back for it. So for a few players that have came out and held their horns up recently, They had a private meeting 2 weeks ago. So there's a lot of man management stuff that's happening off the park that we need to give credit for. And also, the set piece guy, the set pieces are better. Corners were better. It's a couple of really shit corners in the first half, but everything was shit in the first half. But the second half, there's some really good set pieces. And also, I thought it was a bit of class bringing on Tavernier at the end of the game. It calmed the defence down a wee bit. Celtic were still going for us. And if they went to 3-2, that would be squeaky bum time. And bringing Tavo in, I thought that was a bit of class doing that.
Aye, absolutely. I mean, it was a bold decision not to start him in the first place, obviously. We do John Sterling taking his place. But ultimately seemed to be the right decision. He had a great game, I thought. Also, we'll not talk about the issues that happened after it, but he had a great game, I thought. Specifically coming up against Maeda, who we all know is a good player. Whether you agree or not, he is a good player.
He's one of the better players.
He's probably one of Celtic's better players, if not their best player.
And that's what
he's quick as well.
Nullified their best players in the second half.
And Maeda has been a thorn on our side over the last few years, especially up against Tav. So Daniel Rowe's always done his homework, and Sterling's a lot, more defensively minded and more steady at right back. So I still can't put into words just how different the second half was to the first half. It was a game of two halves.
Game of two halves. It's just about to say
crazy.
that.
We had the camera crew here for the documentaries getting made, and one of the boys wasn't into football, and he said to me, he came out there and he said to me, "Can I mic you up?" And I went, "How?" And he went, "I want to know your opinion on the players." And I went, "Oh, fuck." And he says, "How?" And I went, "Because there's 3 players I'm going to slaughter, and if I do that, they might end up having a good second half." One of them was Moore. I was going through all his players like Chermiti and the big boy, one of the other guys that likes the football, said, "No, this game can change so quickly, and he's got it. Don't want to come out and start slaughtering people, and at the end of the game they're singing their name."
Aye, well, he was right.
You know what? Heroes at the end, they were all heroes.
See, to be fair, I don't think Chermiti necessarily had a bad first half. I don't think there was much.
No, the team did.
Aye, the whole team did. It was a poor first half overall, but I mean, Chermiti wasn't really much involved in it, considering it was all Celtic attacking us.
The game should have been done and buried in the first half.
Absolutely. I mean, we were lucky not to be 3 or 4-0 down, so you could argue that we got lucky there, that we could actually come back from only 1-0 down. But
you make your own luck, Casper, will find the football.
Aye.
It's a funny thing, football and momentum. Hard to say, actually. Momentum is a funny thing in football as well, where I think Barron's came out and said after the game that even when they went 1-0 down, they felt they could get back into it. And they had that feeling. And they just imploded. And but that was thanks to us. It wasn't because we changed it at half time. We came out and played different. We brought in a sub. We played a different shape.
And it worked for right on the kick-off. It worked.
We pressed higher up the park. And as you said, Lewis, we finally actually denied them some space. We were pressing them tighter. And it worked. And we looked a lot sharper, looked a lot hungrier in attack as well.
I would go as far as to say it wasn't even the second half. It was just before that, because there was an offside goal. It was well offside, but it's a well worked move. And at that point, you're saying, right, everyone's going, hold on a minute, we've just took a baton for 43 minutes or something here, but we could have been back in it there. And then you started to believe. It's like maybe the second half we can do something, and we did. I just thought it was an incredible game of football. Honestly, it was.
Yeah. And credit to the players, like they looked not so much disappointed at half time, but they looked well out of it at half time. And we need to understand we were almost basically turned over. I
think they would have took a draw at half time. That's the way I was thinking about it, but they came out with the right attitude. I don't know what the team talk was at half time either, but whatever they done, it worked. And we got the points.
The team talk was, if you don't go out and win there, we're going to bring Blood Stewart in here to sing.
Aye, well, I mean, 1-0 down at half time. I'm fearing the worst. I'm expecting a 2-3-0 drubbing, to be honest. Then at 1-8, I'm still like, right, okay, my stomach's still in bits. I'm still nervous. 2-1, I'm thinking maybe we could do this. And at 3-1, I was like, I can't believe this is unbelievable. We're about to absolutely do them.
Then it's nearly 4-1.
I was almost 4-1 as well. We were unlucky. And then we'd actually been ahead of them in the league.
Aye. Here's a question for you guys. Just some comments. I'll ask you a question.
I'm going to do this one first then. Good point. The offside goal gave the team confidence. Would have took a point at heartbeat at that point at half time. I think everybody just because they battered us. It was your typical Old Firm where one team's battering the other. But it's like a boxing match because Rangers came out and Celtic's arse collapsed, man. I don't know what they done at half time. I don't care. Whatever they done at half time, didn't they work?
They get Ross shooting.
Well, I'm going to say, taking a point at half time, I disagree. I think a draw in that game, as much as we were away from home at Parkhead, a draw is still a bad result.
But I'm talking about the players, the way it was.
Yeah.
So here's a question for you guys then.
Yeah.
So, obviously it's a transfer window, and we've been speculating about getting players and whatnot, right? But after that second half on Saturday, who would you honestly look at that team and replace right now?
Magoma.
No, I think Magoma's a great player.
I think he's a good player, but I still think
Celtics were
there's a bit of honest about him.
I thought he's an 18-year-old boy.
Of course it is, but
the only way he's going to get better is playing him. And if you're going to play him and then drop him in the big games, who are you going to bring in? Because you've got another left back.
But the thing is,
Sterling, maybe.
We were talking about the boy, two Romans from Westerlo. We were talking about him coming in, and I think it'd be good competition, because competition makes players want to fight a wee bit more, gives them a wee bit more desire to get into the first team, a wee bit more desire to.
But I would also argue that he's a type of player that he's a left back. I think he's a type of player that he doesn't always shine, but he's probably getting told to do a job. Sometimes players get told just follow a player, it's just whatever. And the manager's never looked like he's going to drop him since he's been in the team, so he's definitely doing something right.
I mean, I would agree with your points there. I still do think we do need more defenders on the door.
We need more players. We need more players.
We need more players. We need more squad depth as well, because as much as one change at the game at half time on Saturday, it changed the whole game. Of course, bringing Asgard off for Diamande, but you still you looked at that bench at half time. You say if you go and look at the substitutes, you're thinking there's no much there. There's no much talent. There's no really anything you can do if it goes tits up.
The fact that we've got the points level with Celtic now is incredible for me, but we're still behind Hearts. I think we need to strengthen, just because the team-wise, our best team out there, we probably don't need to strengthen, but squad-wise, we definitely, because we're going to get hit by injuries again. It's a matter of time, innit?
Yeah.
Aye, of course.
I think Fernandez has improved, don't get me wrong, but I would like an Arsenal defender in. I really would.
And the boy, I think it's a good chance of signing the boy Penrice, is it? From AEK Athens, played for Hearts.
He seems to be a left back, is he not?
I think that's what I was going to say. He's right at left back. So if he's a left back, then they're identifying that position. I think he was quite a good player.
But then we've got Cornelius to come back at some point. So this is what I'm saying. We've got so many players. But this is why I don't think we'll bring in a lot of players, because even though, which you said, Lewis, quite rightly, we don't have a massive bit of depth in our squad. We don't hit the bench, but we still get loads of players that are injured. And I mean, the guys will be working behind the scenes, right, trying to get rid of some of the flops, like Dowell, for an example.
Aye, I do, and I know I've made this point before in the channel. I think it's more important that we get rid of the deadwood than what it is to actually bring in better players, because there's a lot of players in there that just aren't playing. And I feel a wee bit bad for a couple of them as well. I mean, particularly Rabbi Matondo, even Oscar Cortes as well, who's linked to coming back on loan and going out on loan. I think it's an Argentinian club. He's like going to. I seen today, Kieran Dowell, obviously as well. Even Cifuentes, who's out on loan at Toronto as well. A lot of players in there who we shouldn't get rid of. There's a lot of players who came in. We all thought they were going to be the next superstars. I mean, Matondo and Cifuentes, I seen a lot of potential in Matondo. He thrived in Germany. He thrived when he was at Schalke. A quick player, he's a tricky winger as well. Had an eye for goal as well, as we've seen in a handful of games at Rangers as well.
Without doubting that, if he was good at Schalke, then I'd imagine that Danny Rowe would have seen him at some point, because he's heavily involved with German football. He's never gave him a chance. I don't know, the guy on his game has got lots of skill on him, but he just wasn't consistent. It's just the wages we can't keep paying his wages out.
It's just another one where I think the weight of the jersey's got to him. Like he's not used to the spotlight and the intensity of it. And it takes.
He probably signed the right player at the right time.
It takes a big personality to be able to come to a big club like Rangers and understand right away the pressure. Because it is pressure. You've got to perform every week. I mean, look at you make a couple of mistakes at Ibrox and you're getting, a trouser in your back pretty quickly. Because we want the best, but So that's why somebody like Askar's struggling as well, because he's not used to that intense scrutiny, and it'll take him. I don't know if he can turn that around. To be perfectly honest,
Nah.
I think a lot of them have had their chances, and I think that Danny Rowe will want his own type of player, and they'll want to bring his own style of player in, and I'm hoping they can do that. There's a good comment here. I don't know if it's like Graham Hanna for Belfast. I'm assuming it is. Hello, Si and team. The win was great, but the first half was bad, as the second was good. Very true. We need at least 3 proper players to have a real chance to win the league, because we're still going to go ahead of Hearts. So it's a really good point. So if it is 3 players, what position do we go for?
That's what I'm asking. It says 3 proper players. So midfield, we've got 8 central midfielders now. So
I do still think we need better than Diamande. As much as he had a good game against Celtic, but we're not seeing that week in, week out with him. That's the thing.
So do we think we're looking at a defender, a midfielder, and a striker?
I would say one of each.
I think so.
I think we're going to get rid of Danilo. Please, if we can sell Danilo.
If we can get any sort of money buying Danilo, it's a bonus.
He's a goner.
I think a centre half, a left back, and a centre midfielder. I don't necessarily think we need a striker. We've got Chermiti, who's hopefully going to come onto a game now, and even Miovski as well.
There was a bit of interest with the boy from Motherwell. I forgot his name. Is it Elliot Watt? No,
Elliot Watt. Yeah, the centre midfielder.
Elliot Watt. So I believe he's a Rangers man. He seems to have a bit of skill about him. Is he good enough? Is a question there.
I don't think he's a Rangers man. He's for down south. He's for Preston, I believe.
He's posted a few tweets about Rangers in the past.
A few tweets saying come on the Rangers and stuff like that. I've seen that. And that's all well and good. And I've got
Preston's only 2 hours down the road. And there's an Orange Lodge here. I never know.
I know. Don't you worry. I know that. But the thing is,
just a shout out for my pals, but and the lodge down in Preston.
I've got a lot of really, really good friends that are Malone fans. Scott, Nathan, you all know yourselves. They actually watch the show quite often.
Some amount of pals you have.
I know.
It's very cosmopolitan.
Here's us 2 sitting here hated.
I know. I've got some good pals who are Malone supporters, and they all rate that boy Elliot Watt very highly and saying best midfielder in the league. And don't get me wrong, I don't quite think that, but he's a fantastic player, and he's really, really shone in a Motherwell team. Don't get me wrong, a Motherwell team has been very impressive this season. They're playing some lovely, lovely football under a good manager. But
so that's it. We're talking about players that would in the past we spoke about this. Players that can come straight into a team. No players that the project. See that bullshit about Clement done a bit of it, but really Martin is doing it this with the project players in here for 5 years. That doesn't happen in Rangers. It doesn't work. We're looking at guys that can go straight into the team.
If you're winning titles and cups, then you can maybe do 1 a season or something.
Aye.
But you can't bring in 4. If you can't be 20 points behind the better rivals, lose your first 7 or 8 games or whatever, or draw 6 or 8 games, and then say, "Oh, don't worry, because 4 players will come in 2 years' time."
And another 4 players are loan players.
It doesn't cut it. So, I mean, I think we need to bring in a defender purely because we need somebody. We need to find out if Suter's staying or going, sharpish, and if he's staying, okay. If he's going, then we need to bring in replacements because Cornelius is on loan, McGowan is on loan, Adams is on loan. Fernandez is still a young boy, albeit he has improved a little bit in the last 7 to 8 weeks. I think he was suspect in the first half, but he played better in the second half, as we all did. And as I say, Tavernier, we don't know. I think this will be his last main season. He might still be at the club, but he won't feature quite as much. So we're at one of the leases with Dejon Sterling and possibly Suter. So,
well, the thing is, when you're looking at centre half options, your 3 main centre halves are Suter, Cornelius when he's back from injury, and Fernandez. I think we can kind of write off Giga. Maybe, I mean, you never know. It could improve. It could improve in the next month or 2 when he comes back for AFCON. But the thing is, your 3 main centre halves, Fernandez, Suter, and Cornelius. 2 of them have been injured this season for about a month or so. Cornelius still injured. Suter's just only come back from an injury. These 2 could get injured again. I think we do need a lot more depth. We need quality depth as well. We can't just bring in a centre half for Line. We need to proper look into this. We need a centre half who can step up to the mark.
No, well, I've said it for months. I'm going to repeat myself again. So become a boring old fart. Gogic right into that team right away. Plenty of dig on him. He'll not get away with the tackles. He gets away with St Mirren, to be fair. But I'll tell you what, he gets right into Scottish football. He knows he's excelled here so far, and he's a danger up front. And I see if you've got 2 guys that are a danger up front for your defence, Fernandez and Gogic, that leads a new dynamic to the team. Because all of a sudden we look quite dangerous at times in set pieces. There was a point when we'd set pieces where you think just get the ball back to the other team.
I mean, he's definitely got his pros and cons. I think Gogic, probably more pros than and cons. He's an experienced defender who knows the league. He's a defend first type of player. He doesn't sort of faff about the back. He's no one of them. He's a proper get right amongst the defender. He's a hard man as well. The Scottish football, he's well known. But the thing is, for me, he's only really been at one sort of big club, if you wish to say, in Scotland, and that's Hibs, and he was absolutely right rotten, to be honest. The only two clubs that he's actually thrived at are Hamilton and St Mirren. Not exactly prestigious clubs, don't get me wrong. St Mirren obviously won the League Cup there. Fantastic achievement for them. But they're not a big club. They're not a big club. I mean,
small clubs, but he's played well against the Old Firm in the last 2 years.
Aye, but a majority of these teams seem to sit back against the Old Firm, so it's good for a defender to probably have a good game. It's quite not good, but it's easy for a defender to seem like
so who would you guys suggest if it's a centre half that we go for?
I don't know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Gogic is a bad choice. I think he's probably a good choice. He's someone that you could probably get in the cheap as well. Maybe not in the cheap because I think he's a St Mirren captain. I think they rate him very highly. Specifically, Stephen Robinson rates him very highly. I mean, why else would they be his captain? But I don't actually know who else I would go in for. I think there's definitely some sort of talent in Scottish football who we could go in for. Maybe a young centre half.
Craig Halkett's having a good season at half.
Craig Halkett, I really don't know. I really don't know about Craig Halkett.
Well,
I think
he's Hearts' best player on the top of the league by 6 points, and he scored 5 goals this
I would
season.
not say
Not
he's a
really
best
sure
player.
what
I would
criteria.
disagree with you.
Something I would
Best
say is
defender.
a lot of people have kind of written Hearts off. They're lucky because Rangers say that they're doing too great. Hearts have been outstanding this season.
Of course they have been. No discredit to them. I mean, they have been fantastic. They're 6 points clear of both Rangers and Celtic over halfway through in the season, so they've got to be doing something right. Derek McInnes has done a fantastic job with them. Don't get me wrong, they've had a couple of weeks where they maybe dropped a couple of points, a couple of draws in the bounce, but they bounced back from it.
And they've also benefited from not playing in Europe, whereas
of course,
with the Old
and
Firm
even being knocked out quite in the early, in I believe the quarterfinals of the League Cup as well was St Mirren.
So that's benefited.
Of course it has. Of course it has.
End of the day, McInnes doesn't give a jack shit about it. If McInnes can get Hearts a title this year, nobody cares if he played in Europe.
He's for a team like Hearts with their finances. Don't get me wrong, Hearts are a massive club in Scottish football, but the gap, the sheer massiveness, the gap in finances between the Hearts and your Rangers and Celtics, it's huge. It's uncanny. It's the fact that they're even going toe to toe. The Rangers and Celtics.
It's been a lot of years.
Absolutely. I mean, I think
the woman Budge as well was Anne Budge.
And Budge, aye.
Not really why we talk about other clubs too long, but all credit. She was a good chairperson when she was involved. She did a great job. They're a fan-led club, so they've done a lot of good business off the park.
They have brought in, they've signed somebody as well. They brought in somebody already. This transfer window as well. I think they spent $500,000 on. I think he came from. I think it might be Amano and Nicosia or something. I'm not sure, but they spent £500,000 already this season. This transfer window.
So you're saying earlier, God, that you think we might not buy anybody in it, but I think we need to.
I think it's dependent on how many players, as you said, get rid of the deadwood. I think it's dependent on how much the wage bill we can free up, because each club sets out every season how much it can afford to spend on wages, how much it can afford to spend on transfer fees. And right now, for where we are in the league and how crap we've done in Europe, we are far beyond our budget for players. And look at the players that are on. Daniil. I don't want to keep maligning him, but you've got Matondo's on probably on 20 grand, Daniil's on 30 grand.
Bucks.
So I mean, it's like if you took half a Hearts squad, they're probably only on a combined 60 grand a week. That's two other players that can't get a game.
So if we're going to buy,
if
we're going to buy, it needs to be the right buys. There's no point in buying for the sake of buying.
But I do think
we need a couple of bargains really if we can get them.
January
is not a bargain window.
No, I think we ideally are looking for players that want to get in the World Cup squads that are maybe not
in hungry players.
Here's the thing, right? And as you were saying there, January is not a bargain window, but if you're going in for someone who's performing, you're going to be paying mega bucks. But if you're going in for someone who's not really performing, you're getting them on the cheap. It's a massive gamble. So it's really, really tough to do business in January.
However, it's a £40 million gamble because if Rangers win the league, they get the Champions League. It's a gamble worth taking, I think.
Yes, I know. I mean, for me, Danilo was a massive gamble. I mean, yes, he had his moments at both Ajax and Feyenoord, actually.
But they play for
Because
the,
it's 6
they play for the
million,
both
they'll
of
be
them.
getting
I thought I knew play for final.
Not at the same time.
That's gonna
Ajax
say.
and final. They played for them both. It was Ajax.
Yeah, well,
first.
there's no reason why Celtic can't buy him then.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind that.
I'm only kidding.
Maybe
I wouldn't wish that in MD.
Trick Celtic into buying him for 10 million. But nah, like here's the thing: we've got too much deadwood that's still in the book, still on Rangers' books. I mean, obviously Matondo, Dowell, Cifuentes as well.
One
Oscar
thing is-
Cortes, Giga even as well.
As much as we're talking about we need replacement players and that we should buy, Shermiti seems to have proven everybody wrong recently. If he can keep his form up, you can maybe get away with not getting a striker.
Aye, that's the thing. And that's what I'm saying.
Obviously coming back.
I don't think we need a striker because we've got Shermiti who looks to be improving. We've said the last couple of weeks he seems to just be getting better and better, and that's why I think at the weekend there, obviously the fans and the player and all the players and even Danny Rowe deserved that. But I think most of all, Shermiti really deserved that. His performances in the last few games or so, he seems to be just slowly improving. But that there at the weekend was massive for him. That'll be massive for his confidence as well going into the next few games because his confidence beforehand, it must have been down the drain considering all the fans, all the media and all that were all slaughtering him for his £8 million price tag or £10 million price tag. So that must have really. His confidence will be sky high now. I've got to Parkhead and scoring 2 goals against him. Two good goals. Two
good goals.
Two
and
good goals.
comfortable. The big thing as well, I forgot about the game of the weekend. Sorry, God, it was just a quick one. Is whenever I don't. Well, obviously with that incident last night, it could have happened, but didn't have any injuries. How many times in the past I've never.
I'm saying Butcher's he's injury prone enough. But
yeah. I was just going to say about Shermiti, like I don't actually think he's ever lacked self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like he does seem to think he's a great player. And even when he got his first goal back, he said, "Did that shut up?"
I was laughing at that chant, but see that chant
well,
with the Bears at the weekend.
Aye. Well, I mean, he came out and said, and I think in his interviews, big players play for big clubs. So he clearly must have something about him.
Why no?
Of course he has. I mean, he's coming off the back of scoring 2 goals against your arch rivals.
A wee point coming in here. Only 4 home nations is saying it's all about Tuesday. Yes, but I would say the 2 games if they go ahead, the 2 games against the Sheep, what a marker it is if they put them to the sword twice. They've no manager. Will that help us? Will it not help us? Sometimes that can bite you in the arse. But they're not great for them.
Well, as you said, obviously, if the game actually ends up going ahead, because I've seen that Aberdeen are postponing their travels instead of tonight, probably coming down tomorrow morning. So it looks relatively likely the game might not go ahead.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you.
That's quite good.
Just heard. Let me read it out quickly. Just heard Trump says the US will run Celtic until safe transition. God's sake. We'll not really talk much about that.
Obviously, some moral politics going on.
Yep. We are apolitical here at the Gers TV. Well, maybe not, but no. Well,
somebody's made a point.
Make no comment.
That may be on the radio tonight. I don't know when he said it. What you read it, Wannies?
Hi. Do you want me to read it out? Go there.
On you go, yeah.
Tom English said about a month ago that he's heard the board are willing to go all in this window and to get players. They realise this summer was a disaster. Well, yeah. I mean, anybody in the Lily here knows that summer window there was an absolute disaster. You want to say it?
Lily's like bullshit.
I agree, Lily. I agree. That's what everyone thinks when I'm talking bullshit. But no, I mean, everyone knows that summer window was an absolute disaster. I mean,
so yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about the game tomorrow night.
Aye. Let's spend a wee few minutes talking about it. I mean, it's a massive game for both clubs. I mean, Aberdeen without a manager, not in great form, going away to Ibrox. Rangers is probably the team that they perform the best against in the league, whether it's home or away, which obviously we play.
They should be cannon fodder. They're not a great team now. They've lost their manager.
They should be taking advantage of that.
We should be, and we're in form. We're in good form. And we've had a lot of clean sheets, so we should be building on that tomorrow night. I've seen a 3-0 comment there. Something like that's what we want. We want to keep the momentum going. If the game goes ahead tomorrow night, I hope it does. It puts us ahead of Celtic. Celtic will have the game in hand, but we've been chasing them. And what a great quote for Danny Rowe. Sorry, I forgot to say this earlier on. We're hunting.
Yeah, it's a different dynamic, isn't it? When you're ahead, and that's why you want your games to. When you're in form, scoring goals, you've got a feel-good factor. You want the games to go ahead because you know, and how good, you want that connection with the fans back at Ibrox tomorrow night. But the Rangers go into the park tomorrow night, it's going to be some atmosphere and some noise because of what's happened. And
Of course it is.
it'd be great to go ahead. Aberdeen will try everything to get that game called off tomorrow. You can absolutely guarantee it. They will try everything because, as you said, they're without a manager, they're in poor form. If they can delay that by 5 days, they can delay that until we play them at Pittodrie, then, you know, if we beat them 3 or 4-0 tomorrow night, which is possible, then we'll go up on Sunday flying and we'll probably win the game up on Sunday as well because they'll be absolutely flat. But if they get a call, if they get a postponement tomorrow and, you know, we need to wait another 5 days before we play after the Old Firm game, then it plays right into their hands and they'll be loving that. So,
aye, well, I mean, I'm going to make a wee few points and why I really, really hope tomorrow night it does go ahead. There's a massive feel-good factor around Ibrox. You said it in the group chat the other day. There's going to be a massive feel-good factor within the fans, within the squad, within the dressing room, within
4 years, Gordy's been waiting to hear that.
No, but another thing that we've also been waiting 3 or 4 years to hear, Celtic will be chasing us if we get 3 points, or even a point. Don't get me wrong. I think
that would just put us right by.
No,
I thought it'd be a win.
No, I mean, no. But the thing is, but we'd still be ahead of Celtic, and Celtic would be chasing us. That's the first time I think I've said that in about 3 or 4 years.
That would be a major.
It'd be massive. It puts a lot of pressure on them as well. I think their game in hands away to Falkirk, who've impressed.
On them, but if they get themselves a good manager and they've got only 1 point and they've got a game in hand, then they can balance it up. So
No. I'm not. I wasn't going to say that a draw is a good result because it's not, but it still puts us ahead of them. Realistically, it still puts us ahead of them.
Right now, Rangers need to be consistently winning because we were
I
consistently
agree with
bad
that.
at the start of the season.
That.
And something that me and Gordy used to talk to Davey Heard about a lot was we have to find a way to win.
Yeah.
Doesn't it be good football? Just need to find a way to win. See if they can win, keep winning and winning. Nobody gives a shit about how good the football is. To keep that going is a massive thing for us now.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, exactly. And a massive club, obviously, like Rangers. You need talent to play for Rangers, but talent's not enough as well.
See, if and when we are winning that title in May, we won't look back and go, "Oh, we're lucky against Liverpool at home."
Aye.
Thank God Butland saved that penalty. 1 or 2 people might, but on the whole, you brought that. We won our games, and David Heard always says, and we said it as well. Winners find a way to win, and right now that's what we're doing. And as I've said, if we win every game 1-0 between now and the season, we're champions by a country mile. And if we can win this double header against Aberdeen if it goes ahead.
Is that right? I don't know if that's just came in.
And I can't see it, mate. So
It's just
I've not got my phone on me. My phone's away. I don't really know, and I don't really care anyways.
Just wondered why it came in. I think somebody started winding us up.
So listen, that is what it is.
But that's a good point, right? The sheep should be travelling down the night because they normally stay in the Village Hotel, right outside Ibrox. They certainly did when Derek McInnes was the manager. Why are they not coming down there now? Maybe they're wanting the game off, as you says.
See if I was
they are probably trying to get it postponed.
See if I was Rangers, I would have offered to pay the hotel bill tonight.
There's another point here. They'll just finish this off. All they need is to train across the road from the stadium instead of wasting time and more games in hand. Hope the game is on. Good point, William. But I would just further that and say they can go to Auchenhowie. They can go to Auchenhowie and train. We've got a training facility there. Why we can let them train there. Rangers want the game to go ahead. They have everything we can to get the game on.
Yeah, absolutely. This reminds me of like a couple of seasons ago when Clement came in and we had a good run.
Sorry, just a quick one. We're about to talk about Rangers on the channel. People are posting about Celtic. Well, no, none of the slightest bit interested. Sorry, Gordon.
Yeah, no, that's all right. So this reminds me just when we'd done well under Clement and we were in a good run of form, and then I think the game against Dundee, a couple of games got postponed, and it threw us right off our kilter.
Aye, but on a high, that's what I'm saying. And it would be, it's one of the ones we get, the games get postponed and you get an injury or something and you're like, for crying out loud.
Yeah, and plus, as I say, they're without a manager, as we've all said. They're vulnerable. We can get them at Ibrox, beat them, even 2-0, any kind of win, and then we go up on Sunday to Pittodrie heavy favourites. Other side of the coin is, if they regroup, get 5 days training under Peter Levin, who's a good coach as well, highly rated, highly regarded. They'll be working on things for the game on Sunday. So, and they'll be hard to beat up at Pittodrie, as they are. They're always, no matter how bad they are, they're always hard to beat at Pittodrie.
Another thing we don't want is somebody mentioned the fixture chaos. We don't want to be getting this. There's all these games and we're going to play extra games through the week.
And then I'll make a final point about it as well. In February, I said this to you last night, this is our run of form for 4 weeks. It's Hibs away, Motherwell away, Hearts at home,
Celtic at home.
Celtic at home. That's
Massive,
our 4 games in a row.
massive month.
If we have
That could
to
be the month
play,
that wins the league.
if we have to
Absolutely.
then play Aberdeen home or away during that fixture,
Aye.
it just adds to it, and that's why we need to make sure that we do everything we can to make the game go ahead tomorrow. And to be honest, I think it will. You know, I mean, if you go to Aberdeen, you need to leave an hour earlier for the game. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so what?
That would be bad, poor tactics if they try to get the game called off, to be fair. I think the one at the weekend more likely could get cancelled because the weather up there is really bad to play the game. But in this day and age, you should be able to come down the night before.
Yeah. I mean as well. I mean, the game at the weekend, let's not get too hasty. The game at the weekend is 6 days away. So weather can change drastically. I mean, as we all know in Scotland, weather can change drastically in such a short amount of time. So I do think the game at the weekend will go ahead. It's tomorrow night I'm actually more worried about because, as you said, Aberdeen should be able to, if they can travel down tomorrow, surely they can travel down the night.
I'm pretty sure it'll go ahead tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it'll be a Rangers win, and Diomande should meet and score 2 each. I've seen that every game now to the end of the season.
Well, I'm getting back to my default position, the shite back position.
Fernandes.
I'm going to go with Fernandes to score a goal, first goal.
I would agree with that. I would say 2-0, 2 or 3-0. I'll say 3-0. I think we'll see Fernandes. I think we'll see, as you said, Fernandes score. We've seen Fernandes scoring a lot of goals, specifically at Ibrox as well from set pieces. I think Fernandes will probably score for a corner. Seems to be right in the stars most games. Fernandes score for a corner. I mean, considering his height, I'm not surprised. Probably maybe a Chermiti goal, or at least Chermiti an involvement.
Maybe against his old club.
Maybe obviously against his club. I would absolutely love that. I would love that.
Had to happen at some point, didn't it?
Bailey's been drinking the weekend.
had to happen at some point.
Conor Barron first ever Rangers goal against his old club.
There we go. Majowski and all.
And Majowski. Oh, that would be unreal. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. Good point there, just about the fixtures, right? Because it's all about the upcoming games. After these 2 games against the Sheep, we played Dundee at Ibrox, which is very winnable, and they are at Tynecastle the same day. I mean, that's you're new because Hearts would have been wanting to draw at the weekend, was the Manx. So you're not looking at that game wouldn't be a bad one to be a draw either. Just slowly catch up with Hearts. That's my opinion. There's another big one coming in here.
Slowly but surely, aye.
Let's get the next one. Yeah,
I know. So me read it out.
And you go.
No commenting.
I'll read it out. Once again for Chick here. There's always an upturn in performance when a new manager comes in. That is why they continually sack managers ahead of the Rangers game. Well, there's a new manager spark. There always is. I mean, we've had it with Rangers for a wee while.
But what Chick's talking about, it traditionally happens. Aberdeen traditionally did against Rangers. It's been happening for about 10, 15
years. Yeah, well,
years.
I seen a comment there. They did it twice in one season when Walter Smith was in charge.
Aye, and Peter Leavens actually, before Jimmy Tilleen was appointed, I'm pretty sure they sacked their manager and Jimmy Tilleen, Peter Leavens was in charge of the game at Ibrox. I think we did win, I think we won 4-0 that night, but I'm pretty sure it happened before Jimmy Tilleen was appointed. Maybe 18 months ago now, but I'm pretty sure I remember that as well.
Aye.
And of course, your man, Neil Warnock, came in after
He came in.
Sunday and all.
Aye.
So
they've had loads of managers, but the point Chick was making is it always seems to be against Rangers because they've got something to prove if they come in. If there's no manager, the players can usually have something to prove for the new manager. But anyway, we can't control that. Anyway, if I missed any comments here, guys, for the night you want to chat about?
Not really much. I don't think we've missed
the time, more importantly.
I don't really think we've missed that.
5 minutes left.
Aye, we've got a wee 5 minutes left. We'll talk a wee bit about predictions for tomorrow night and even for Sunday as well. If they obviously go ahead. I'm confident with both. That's if they both go ahead, which I think they will. But yeah, apart from that, any shout-outs you want to make here at all?
No, I'm just making sure that everything's. I'm the studio man here.
Tell us about
Can't multitask.
Tell us about the Black Bull.
The Black Bull. Oh no!
Tell us what happens when you leave.
Get him a wee plug on the telly. Hold on. There you go.
Always. Sponsored by the Black Bull, Canvas Line Main Street, and the Ibrox Studio, Block C, Unit 12, Glenwood Business Centre, G459UH.
Aye.
He's been sitting on a lava pan and all that, practicing it.
Reading it out. I've got a wee notepad as well that I read out.
How was it? I was in the Bristol bar at the weekend and they assisted us with the documentary wording. Packed at the weekend. I know most of the bars and Duke Street. How was the bill?
The Black Bull was absolutely heaving. Absolutely mob. But it was a fantastic shift. I was really, really proud actually.
That's not what you're saying at the time. You're texting us, I'll not be back. I'm sick of this.
Imagine working the Old game.
What did it take me for?
I want to speak to the owner.
Who is my mother, by the way, if you don't know, the owner is my mother. But no, it was fantastic, to be honest. Last few Old Firms, because there's not really been much of a feel-good factor, last few Old Firms have been a bit strange in the Black Bill, to be honest. They've been a bit out of sorts. They've not been as busy as usual, but there was a game where we were full of confidence as well. I mean, being away from home, obviously, it kind of helps with the pubs. I mean, most folk won't be at the game. Most folk will be watching in the pub. So, yeah, we were absolutely packed. It was back to standard with Old Firms. I mean, it was the busiest I've seen it maybe in about a year or so. It was fantastic.
We always say support the Rangers pub. Simon, do you want to tell the viewers what you've been doing or what the channel's been doing? I mean,
absolutely.
Over the weekend, not your gallivanting.
I know. I'll keep that myself. Just there was a company called Sport 90 contacted us and they're making a documentary on the Rangers Celtic. I was going to do a 5-minute video with them, but ended up most of the video was going to be with myself with the Rangers side. I think that's what they said, and they were based for 3 days. They were made very welcome. All the Rangers bars looked after them. The Rangers supporters that met them spent a lot of time with them. They were at the both Ibrox disaster memorials. All credit, because it was bloody freezing for them to come to that. They met an ex-player, Gordon Smith. I introduced them to Gordon. Ian the Piper. I had all the boys up. He's all seen the bevy for the weekend. I'm not watching that video of the fear. We had a great day in here. Got a chance to promote the channel to a company that's got 3 million people on Instagram. Make me a millionaire. Other than that, just a quick shout.
I thought you were already a millionaire, so you know.
The amount of dinners that Doug eats, man. Just a quick shout out. We've got our own Rangers Pools agency, the Rangers Lotto. It only costs you a couple of pounds to join it. And if you quote agent 4500, the Gers TV, you can be on our syndicate, and that would be fantastic. Help the club and help us as well. Other than that, guys, we're always just trying to get the channel a bit better every week, and the studio as well. We're doing a lot of what's behind the scenes. I've got a pool table. Lewis just took it off because I'm the pool champion. So they put a dartboard up, and I'll probably be the champion at the darts soon. So it's all good.
Don't talk nonsense.
Not been affected by the baby. Is that a good show? What a weekend it's been. What a roller coaster season. And the best is yet to come for the famous Glasgow Rangers, I think. And
I think so as well.
I'll tell you what, I'm really looking forward to it. And a couple of signings in January and a couple more results, and we're right in this title. And bring it on.
A couple of comments just came in now, so I'll just let you get it now if you want to catch them, if there's any.
I see. That seems to be a Hearts fan here commenting.
I know he comes on every week, to be fair.
I
know. Polite.
I know. I mean, I've read out his comment before. Seems to be absolutely fine.
I think he's talking the Black Bulls. I've never left a smile on my face.
Tim's in meltdown and Hearts leading down in Celtic. Rangers smashing Celtic. You've made my years, boys. Cheers. And I've seen another comment there at the bottom. I'll get onto that shortly because it's something I really want to talk about as well.
Just catching up because I finish the morning hour if we can. My OCD.
Yep.
You got that one?
If we can win our next three league games, something has to give it Tynecastle. Yeah, I agree with that.
Right.
Ask if I'm still bad, mate. And this comment here from Chick that I really.
What was asking if he was still bad? I was losing up to.
Last comment tonight.
This is the comment that I really want to talk about here. What about the police and stewards continuing their routine of assaulting our lads celebrating? They never stop them at Ibrox. That's something that I noticed specifically when Mikey Moore scored his third goal. He went to go celebrate with the fans. The police and even the stewards were doing absolutely everything they could to stop him from going and celebrating with the fans. I was really disappointed by that.
I'm not trying to what about it here. It's also happened with the Copenhagen player against Celtic as well.
Yes.
At the same area of the ground.
Yes.
When Celtic score a goal, any ground, their players, which hasn't been very often the last couple of months, but they're especially at Ibrox or whatever, they're trying to get into the range support and everything, and they get a free rent at it. Now that player, that young boy Moore, was grabbed by a police when he's getting into his own fans. I believe it's not even a booking offence now. That's changed if you go to your own fans. He could have actually took it further, and if I was Rangers, I would have urged him to do that. Police Scotland were a disgrace. It was on TV. Chick's right. Why are we not highlighting this? Because why Rangers players can't get into their support, but other teams can, isn't it right? Gordy, let you finish with that.
I'm all round to do it, to be honest. I'm cool. I'm all right. I'm living life at the moment. I'm kind of relaxed.
Cool as a
for once.
cucumber, as I said earlier on
Aye,
about Jermaine.
I'm not doing this for me. I'm just sitting here cool. Hang on.
I just think if football's
like
supposed to be about fans, right?
Thanks.
You're putting fans in 2 hours early.
Yeah.
You're keeping them in 2 hours or an hour after the game. I don't know if that did happen or was talking about it. But you've got all that, and then you've got a young boy, scores the winning goal, runs up to the support, and the police are grabbing him by the arm and treating him like a hooligan. What's going on in this country?
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, just hit the hour mark there, Si. I know you've got extreme severe OCD, so I know you're going to want to finish on the hour mark. I've got no really any more shout-outs I want to really make apart from...
Great result.
Yeah, great result.
We'll be back through the
Really
week,
happy.
guys. Hopefully the game goes ahead tomorrow night. Like,
Yep.
share and comment. And always remember,
We are
we are a
the
people.
people.